Upwards. Oh, honestly, massages are just the best way to relax. I find that touch has become very taboo, right? It's we get really weird about touching people, especially maybe I think in England. Which I get completely for valid reasons, but touch is incredibly healing. I think a lot of the kind of healing modalities that we have through therapy or um coaching, I guess, all of these things can be a little bit clinical at times, where there's certain rules, certain things you can't say, etc., etc. But things like touch are incredibly healing. I don't know if you've ever had like been in the presence of someone and they're just I don't know, just like stroking your arm or your head or your hair, or just like nice soft touch, almost like when you're a baby. You know how babies are constantly being like stroked, or you kind of like tap them on their back a little bit to send them to sleep or something like that. It's incredibly soothing, and I myself find touch very healing to the nervous system. So I'm a big fan. And there's something like you need to have 8 hugs a day, which makes sense because it's nice to be in each other's energy and having that soothing touch. Sometimes when you're sad, you don't need someone to be saying something to you. You just want to have a hug, or like that, like someone touching your hand, or reassurance. I believe nonverbal um, communication can truly be stronger sometimes than just verbal communication, because verbal communication, so language, can be very limiting, can be very shallow, and most importantly, it can be misunderstood. Hi, Tanya Radiswa? Radiswa? My name is Priya. Oh wait, I was gonna say what's your name, but you already said your name. Welcome. I was just talking about the importance of touch and how healing touch can be. And also healing in hi, how are you? No one asked you. I feel bad for you. Thank you. I'm good. How are you? Thank you for hi, I'm learning to speak English. Congratulations. I hope it goes amazingly for you. Um you are so pure. So thank you so much. As are you. As are you. As are we all, right? Aren't we all? Yeah. Inside me. I think we are. I think everybody truly is a pure soul, loving, kind. It's just that we have um things that become barriers to this, our ego, traumas, you know insecurities. We have emotional repression, things like that, that come, and they uh they create a hindrance, and they become an obstacle to everybody seeing the pure soul that you are. And it's about getting rid of it. So in life, it's not really about becoming someone else, it's becoming who you always were, returning home, remembering who you are. Where am I from? I'm from England, but I am Indian. Your English is good. Where are you from? Okay, yes, answered that. Okay. um yeah, but I wanted to talk a little bit today, again, about worrying. So I said on my previous live that I did just this morning that, I had this conversation with my mom, and my mom was kind of projecting onto me her worries, and I wasn't happy with that, because I don't want to absorb that, because you know why? Because in life, be of this be in this world but not of it. And now what does that mean? Be of this world, of this world, but not in it. That means be in it. Allow the physical world to touch you, but don't allow it to touch your inner world. Your inner world must be strong. People are being ran by their minds, and a lot of times people's minds are out of control, right? Unless you go out of your way to work on your mind, to ensure that your mind is a rich, fertile place full of high positive thoughts. Unless you do that and you are aware of your mind, right? You have that higher awareness. You best believe your mind is running amok. Okay, so bearing that in mind, if everybody's mind is just crazy, running amok, there's this like maniac, crazy person in their brain, then when they're speaking to you, it's this maniac that is speaking to you, right? So this is why we have to be really careful about when we believe what other people are saying when they're talking to us, because a lot of times, most of the time, when someone is speaking to you, they're speaking to you through their perceptions, through their experiences, through their beliefs, their values, the way that they've been socialized, the way that they see love, the way that they see relationships, how secure they feel. All of these things create a lens. For example, if I have glasses on, I have pink glasses on, everything is going to look pink, right? Because I have pink shades on. But if I have darker shades on, everything is going to look darker, right? So a lot of people who tend to have negativity, anger, a lot of trauma, sadness, shame, guilt, you can think of them in that way. You can think that, oh, okay, this person is looking at life through darker shades. That is why everything is shaded in darkness for them. There is an absence of love in their life. They are just mad at everything, because when you have a negative outlook on life, it doesn't matter how many positive things are happening outside of you. You will only seek out the negative. For example, तू हिंदी जानती है क्या? आप हिंदी जानते हैं क्या? हिंदी जानती है क्या है बात? क्या है, क्या ये बता? आप प्यार प्यार के साथ भी बोल सकते हैं, हिंदी जानती है क्या? See? It could have been, I mean, I thought Hindi was always very polite. You took the politeness out of Hindi. It's okay. But yeah. So it's the way that you want to hug me tightly. Thank you. Look, I'll pretend you're hugging me, okay? I'm kidding. Hug yourself tightly. How about that? Everybody give yourselves a hug. तू कहानी में इतना नफरत क्या है क्या? तू कहानी में. What? I don't know what that means. But okay, so how can I exemplify and say? Let's say there is a rose bush. Roses are, arguably very beautiful, amazing smells, but they have thorns, right? So someone who is negative will look at the rose bush and see only the thorns, and then become scared and say, "Oh, I don't want to go near this thorn bush." This rose bush. I mean, they'll probably call it a thorn bush, right? They'll be like, "I don't want to go near this. It's got thorns on it. I might get hurt. I have to be wary. I have to be cautious, And they completely dismiss any beauty that may lie in that rose bush. They don't see the rose. They don't see the fragrance. They don't see the beauty of the creator in that rose bush. Whereas someone who's positive sees the rose bush and sees the in detail that is in in the rose, the fragrance, the beauty, the energy of us, and they understand that maybe the thorns are there because they're important. They're there to protect the rose from predators, and maybe the thorn is really important. Maybe they shouldn't judge it. You see how the way that you see life really colors what life is like, your experience of it. So I always try to remind people that it's not about what happens in life. It is about, let me move you guys closer. Why are you so far? Okay. Yeah, it's not about what happens in life. It's more about the way that you see it, the way that you perceive it. If you can perceive it in a way where your perspective is very high, it is very strong, and just full of love, then everything is easy. I mean, I wrote something here, one of the notes that I really liked. Give me a second. Kahan hai tu? Okay, this is not it. I feel like I've started speaking English in an Indian accent. um, my God, do not make all girl like you. You're so understandable, girl. God, something. God, that's not. Everybody is wonderful. Everybody's wonderful. Okay, what's the point I was trying to make? Okay, yeah. To seek it, that in which no sorrow is, and all is found, is man's sole duty. To seek that in which no sorrow is, and all is found. I guess this is talking about. So in life, it is important to treat your sorrows and your joys in the same way, you know? Because sometimes we can push away prayer. Okay, you are wonderful. Thank you. बोलना यार हिंदी हिंदी अबे तो हिंदी अब आए तो हिंदी पर तो मीन्स ये है कि आप तो मैं प्यार का डिस्टिंग्विश कर ठीक नहीं मैं हिंदी बोल लेती हूँ थोड़ी थोड़ी बोलती हूँ पंजाबी का मैं ज़्यादा अच्छा बोलती हूँ पर okay, yeah, Shoshan asked something about being divorced men, about divorced men. Okay, go ahead, ask the question. Let's see. Oh my God, my hair. Hi, something advice. I oiled my hair today, which I'm really happy about, which is something that I like to do before I shower. Your head and your scalp needs hydration. You know, and there's just something about taking care of yourself and taking care of your hair that feels good to the soul, you know? Like, I'm worthy of being डिवोर्स क्यों हो रहा है हम नहीं जानते पता नहीं शायद कुछ पूछना चाह रहा है डिवोर्स के बारे मुझे लगता है पर मैंने कभी एक्सपीरियंस नहीं किया पर हम देख लेते हैं Shan, what is it? Tell me, boy. What's the question? And then I can get around to answering it. Oh, you getting a divorce? Is that the question? Am I against or for divorce? I am for divorce if it is something. So okay, look, in life, I think it is better for people to be divorced than to be together for the sake of being together. I think if you can't figure things out and it's really making you unhappy, then of course separate. What's the problem in that? But on the flip hand, I think it depends, because if both of you can be very committed to working through things, I think most things can be worked through, right? I think dropping the ego really helps. Being super honest and vulnerable and forthcoming. Honesty is something that is so incredibly important, and it's something that I realize every single day, and I love being honest, even though in the moments I'm like, no, I can't say it. But it's something I push myself to do all the time, as much as I can, because it's funny, because as human beings, what do? Something will happen with someone, you'll go away and you'll think about it, right? Naturally, that's what we do. We're with someone, something happens, you go away, you go over the whole conversation, you're picking apart every little thing, you're like, why didn't I say this, why didn't I say that? And then I don't know, okay, for me, I'll tell you my opinion. I'll have a conversation with someone, and then there'll be parts where I haven't been honest with them, or there's like a completely different story going on, right? There's a completely different narrative going on, and I'm not being open with that. There's not an open narrative. Yeah, I'm presenting something else because I'm trying to avoid the truth, right? Because sometimes we feel like, I used to feel like, the truth is scary to say. Oh my God, what will they think? Oh my God, am I really meant to be this truthful? Because I think it stems from being a child. When you're a child, you have an inner child, right? Well, actually, you are a child. So the way that you are socialized, the way that your parents love you oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Sorry. Someone just walked really loudly past my room and it just scared me. Sorry. Oh, we're good, honey. So yeah, the way that you see your parents love each other, the way that your parents love you, why speak in Hindi, why the fake accent? मैं इंडिया से नहीं हूँ, हिंदी मुझे इतनी अच्छी आती नहीं है। पंजाबी में गल कर लैनी आ जे तुहानू पंजाबी समझ लगदी है, पर सारे इत्थे शायद उन्हां नू ओही ना आंदी होवे है ना ताही। पर हाँ, शायद मैनू फेक एक्सेंट दे नाल बोलना बहुत वधिया लगदा है। Who knows, you know? तुम करती क्या हो? Because no one can live without work. मैं ऐश करती हूँ, और क्या? Now I lost my train of thought. What was I answering? It's okay. We were talking about divorce, then we were talking about Ash. Now that's really gonna bug me. I've lost the point. Great. It happens. Inner child. I got it. Okay. So, from the age of 1 to 7, you are with your caretakers, right? We as humans cannot take care of ourselves when we are babies. We need to rely on the people around us, which means that we become very prone to and vulnerable to them. We are incredibly impressionable. So what happens is that there's an imprinting that happens. For example, think of it this way. Think of ducks. You know, we have baby ducks, and if a baby when a duck is born, if it sees you, it just thinks you're the parent, and then it just follows you around. That is what can happen to humans a little bit. Not that they will follow someone around, but they'll become imprinted with what they're being taught by their parents. So what happens is you begin to put up this this front, right? You try to I live in England. You put up this front because you try to please your parents, because your parents, you need their love. You need their validation. That's what you think as a child. I mean, you do to some extent, because you want them to continue to take care of you. Because if they don't take care of you, then your survival is in question, right? So then if your authentic self, like who you truly are, is not reinforced, is not validated, then you come up with this inauthentic self. You create this new like identity of yours. So here's the real you, the authentic you, who you really are, what you really like, what you really want to do, etc. And then there is a you that you have created that your mommy and daddy likes, that the family likes. You know, thank you. And then see, what you do is you go through life with this fake facade. Well, I don't think I need to say fake if I've said facade. But yeah, with this facade, this shell of a person that doesn't actually represent who you are. So with me, what I was saying was that I find myself that when I'm in conversation, I'll be talking to someone and then I'll want to not be truthful, because I find that, oh my god, it's really scary to share my truth, right? It can be scary to talk about what something really means for you and what you really feel about something, and then you refuse to share that. Then there's confusion. Whereas now I just think, what's the point of me going away and thinking about conversation? Why can't I just be forthcoming about how I feel and just go to that person and tell them straight up? For example, let's say me and my mom get into an argument, but there are things that I want to say, there are truths that I want to say, there are things that I want to share. ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਂਝੀਆਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਹਨਾ, ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਕਰਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਭੈਣ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਡੈਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਭਰਾ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਮੰਮੀ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਫੀਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ। ਇਹਦਾ ਕੀ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ, ਹਨਾ? ਵੀ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਦੱਸਾਂ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਦੱਸਾਂ ਵੀ ਹਾਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਆ, ਮੈਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ। ਇੱਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ you know, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ aggressively ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਾ, ਬਸ ਮੈਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੱਸਣਾ, ਜਾਂ assertively ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਹਾਂ ਏਦਾਂ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਵੀ just confidently ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਵੀ ਦੇਖੋ ਆਹ problem ਆ. Because you know what happens in life? In life, we have a problem with one person, and then we tell everybody apart from that one person. I used to do this all the time. If there was an issue with a friend, I would be so scared to express my truth to that friend and be like, okay, you know what, you did that and I didn't like that and that really upset me. I wouldn't do that. I would go and tell everybody else, oh my god, you know, so and so did this, I'm really upset, without actually calling that person out directly. And then it would damage my relationships, and then I would stop speaking to that friend because eventually they had done so much, but I had never actually told them, oh, you're doing this and it hurts me, can you please stop? And then I would just stop speaking to them suddenly, just like that. I would just end relationships like that because I couldn't be courageous enough to go and tell them what the problem was. So in life, when there's a problem with whom it is, express it to them. Why are we gonna go and talk to everybody else and tell everybody else, rather than the person who is actually involved in the conversation with the problem? Akshat, this is the only female interaction I have in this life. Feeling bad for myself. You should maybe just say, you know, maybe put the intention out there that you want to welcome more female interaction. I mean, yeah, you should be honest with others. You should. It's sometimes it's so much easier said than done, right? But I think the more you push yourself, the more liberating it is. I feel so liberated because when you start telling little truths, okay, just little truths. Start with that little truths, like, oh, okay, how are you feeling? Oh, you know what? Not so well today. I was thinking about this. I've been overthinking about this or whatever. It helps, and then slowly you can be truthful about everything, because you know what? There's just an openness. I feel when you hide who you are, there's this really constricting energy. You're just like, oh, I hope no one sees the truth of me. Oh my god. And there's this like cloak that you feel like you need to wear, because someone is just gonna find out who you are, kind of thing. Our life is like a game. We have one life in infinite levels to complete in it, and the players end up death. Nothing planned ever goes in this accused world. Yeah, it is. It's like a play. That's why Hindus call it a leela, right? A play. It's a play, but we take it seriously. I like to compare it to Monopoly. I don't know if you guys have ever played the game Monopoly, but Monopoly is a game where, you know, you buy properties, you sell them, and then you buy hotels, and you know, you can make loads of money in it. And life is like Monopoly. Winning at life, materially, it's like winning at Monopoly. It doesn't mean anything, you know, in the grander scheme of things. When we wake into the truth of life, winning at Monopoly means nothing. Winning at this life means nothing in the material sense. Not that it isn't important, okay? Of course it's important to be abundant, right? To have that abundant mindset, because that says a lot about everything. I mean, it's linked to your spirituality, really. Because when you're one with God, you understand that you are a vessel through which God provides, okay? Nothing is yours. When you say it's a play, do you say it from your own experience or from what you've read, been told? I love that question. Thank you, Akshat. No, I would say a little bit of both, because when I heard that, then I thought about that, and it's true. Because you can say it's like a play or it's like a dream, okay? They're both very similar things. A dream seems really real when you're dreaming, but then you wake up and you're like, oh, that was just a dream. It's not real. But what is real? Like, what makes something real? Something real to me is tangible, something that I can hold on to, and hold on to forever. It's not just gonna go pff. But in life, if you really think about it, nothing is real, because everything is so temporary, right? The only thing that is real is the truth. And what is the truth? God is the truth. God is our truth. Because we have to think of where we come from. A lot of people don't think from a higher perspective. We're just thinking from this like human perspective, but when you think of a higher perspective, like expands, like an expansive perspective, what lasts forever, what is permanent, what is infinite, what is ever expanding? And that is God, because I will die, you're all going to die, Priya's not going to be here anymore. Was I ever real? Was I just a figment of everybody's imagination? Who knows? What's real? Sorry, am I speaking really fast? I just get really sometimes I watch my lives over and I think, oh my god, Priya, you are so aggressive. Or like speaking really fast. I just get super passionate, but I will try to I'll slow it down. Okay. We live in the present, there is no future, no past. I had something called depersonalization when I understood the true nature of consciousness. Funny memes, can you go more into that? But I feel I kind of understand depersonalization. It's when you lose your ego, right? Everything stops becoming just about you. You realize that life isn't just about this character that you are playing, but there is something far more expansive, and that you are far more expansive than just who you identify as. Is that correct? How to separate spirituality from religion? I mean, okay. I think it depends on your definition of spirituality and religion. It's a deep thing. Yeah. Life is reality and the dream we are chasing is just imagination. Yeah, but what makes life a reality? What makes it so real? Because you're here 1 minute and you're gone. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, merrily, life is just a dream. Why not why? Why what? Why not why? I guess you have ADHD. You think so? Maybe. Continue, keep going. Okay. I will, don't worry. ADHD, interesting. ADHD is an interesting concept. I found that we're so quick to label little things. We can't let anything just be it, we have to put it into little boxes, label things, categorize. I guess that's how we make sense of things in this masculine, hyper masculine world. But I was doing this meditation, right? The Sam Harris ones that I do from his app, Waking Up, which is a really good app if you want to get into meditation. And he was saying how the color blue. What is the color blue? If you really think about it, what is the color blue? If you try to explain to someone what blue looks like, what does it mean? And then you realize that it has no inherent meaning, because blue is just the word that we have given to something. But what is it? I don't know if I ever explained it as eloquently as he did, but I'm trying. I agree with what you say, but it is unfortunate that around me I see people who live only for earning more and more money, status. To me, passion is much more important. Money is a means to pursue them. Actually, it is sad. But, it's the kind of life that we have been socialized into. We deem success to be aligned with material success. And I love that you can discern between the two, so your life can look differently. It doesn't have to look like theirs. And then by you creating a life that doesn't look like theirs, they will see and think, oh wow, Akshat is doing something different, and he has true wealth, because there are different types of wealth, right? There's inner wealth. And when you have inner wealth, you have all the types of wealth you need. In fact, you don't need any other wealth, because inner wealth is the most important thing. people are searching for this thing, this feeling of enoughness, this feeling of connection, of love, of fulfillment, and they look for it outside of themselves. But it's all already within you. You are already fulfilled. You just have to peel back the layers and realize it was there all along. Children. Children are in natural states of ecstasy. That is our reality. We are meant to be like children. Happy, curious, adventurous, open, without judgment, without bias, no overthinking, living in the present, loving, kind. Children aren't born racist. Children aren't born with biases. Children aren't born depressed or anxious or overthinking. So they are just the closest to God, right? They just came from God. They just came from the spiritual realm. So they are a direct reflection of what God's true form and beingness is like. So we can take lessons from that. Whereas someone who gets older is the furthest from God, because they have lived a whole life where they may have forgotten their natural state of being and their ecstasy. You know, that's why it's so important for elderly people to be with children, to be near children, because they get reminded of that, their true state. And a lot of people, when they do get older, do become very childlike. You know, they have that natural curiosity and this honesty about them, because they just understand that I don't, like, I can drop it. I can drop all this, all these burdens. I can drop this having to be a certain way. I can just do whatever I want to do. I can say whatever I want to do. You know, that's one thing I love about elderly people. They're just so honest and so funny, and they can talk about anything. Whereas someone, I guess, in the middle, so not a child, but someone in the middle kind of gap, like age range, would be very hesitant to say certain things or to speak about certain things. But I think it's super inspiring. And this whole aging thing, people get really, you know, scared of aging. But aging is such a beautiful thing. Think about it this way. I read about this, okay? It said that, think of a tree. The oldest tree has experienced the most. It has had, you know, the most amount of people walking by it. It's seen so much. It's experienced all the different types of weathers, conditions. It's seen so many stars, moons, beautiful nights, days, you know, yeah, just different experiences. And older trees tend to just have a completely different energy, a magnetic energy, compared to a younger tree, right? And that's the same with us. An elderly person has so much to them. There's just this energy about them. But I think what we do is we get lost in the aesthetics of things. When everything becomes about aesthetics, everything becomes really shallow. How long can you look at someone or something that looks good? Because looking and feeling are different things. You know, perceiving, being in someone's energy, it's a completely different thing. You know what is the best part of game? Is people can never imagine what they've got in life. They just need more and more, but they forget they have eyes to watch and a whole structured body to do anything. Exactly. You know what the thing is? We don't appreciate what we are given freely. God gave us life freely. And we don't appreciate that. We only appreciate the things we have to work hard for. Like money and material success, status, maybe a marriage, maybe a family life. You know, all these things require work. So when it comes to God, we believe that God must require work. It's God, for God's sake, you know. Why wouldn't God require work? But God is the opposite. For you to have a connection with God, you have to drop things. You have to let go. You have to become more empty and silent, rather than try to do something outside of yourself to attain something. Oh God. So you know, because it's your natural state of being. You have nice teeth. Thank you, Sunset on Mars. I have ADHD, that's why I can say it. The outside box thinking and hyperfocus is very specific to it. I'm a doctor, by the way. Interesting. Okay. So I seem like I had the outside of. Okay. Interesting. You know, it's so interesting that ADHD. I don't know. I guess maybe it's just me that I always assumed that it kind of had a bad rap to it, that there's a stigma behind it. But things like ADHD or any other neurodivergent things, like for example autism, I think it's the opposite of what you believe. It's not an issue. It's not an illness. It's a superpower. Does that make sense? It's you're more able than the normal person. What if she said? Not contradicting. She said blue is a reflection of a certain wavelength of the electromagnetic spectrum. But what does it mean? Like what? Inherently, like what is it? You know. I get what you're trying to say, but you know. Good. I feel I might be on the wrong path since my friends are chasing highest paying fields while I'm pursuing my deepest interest lies. Pays well to live comfortably, but not as much as those as others. You know, actually, are you happy on the inside? I get that too, okay? Let me share something. So I do this, but then I work, I do part-time work. It's very flexible, so I can go in whenever I want as a receptionist. And you know, my ego, it used to be that, oh, Priya, you're a smart individual. So that's what my ego was built around. When I was younger, there was such a an emphasis on education, okay? I would be getting great grades, you know, so it was built around that. I am a smart individual. So fast forward to now where I'm working as a receptionist, but I'm building something here, which is something that I really love because this job allows me to have enough time, enough energy, um, um, you know, and yeah, just time and energy to be able to pursue what I actually want to pursue. And when I compare myself to other people, for example, I was a receptionist and I did at work at this company where they have Goldman Sachs, right? And Goldman Sachs and other law firms, it's a corporate building, and one of this guy that I knew from school, he was there, and I remember seeing him and feeling embarrassed that he's going to see me and that I went to the same school as him, and now I'm here working just as a receptionist, you know, and all these things. And I think sometimes, what if the people from my class saw me, they're like, oh my god, we had, you know, Priya was doing all of this, she was such a geek, and now she's just a receptionist. These are judgments I placed upon myself. But then I really asked myself, would I swap lives with him? No, I wouldn't. I'm really happy. I am doing exactly what I love. I'm building something that I love. I'm following my passion, you know? So yeah, I get it. I get sometimes you compare yourself and you think, oh, maybe I should be chasing money, because I could get a job where I'm getting paid far more than I am right now. But I wouldn't swap that for anything, because that would literally suck the life out of my soul. And I prefer happy, fulfilled Priya over anything. And when you are internally wealthy, like that's how I feel. I feel energized. I feel healthy. I don't feel like, for example, when I work as a receptionist and I see all these people working, right? The only thing that they ever mention is, oh, it's nearly the weekend. That's all anybody ever used to talk about, the weekend. And I would sit there and I would be like, every day is the weekend for me, okay? I don't even think of life in that way. So yeah, there's a part of you that feels like you need to compare, because we live in a world where it's, oh, you know, social status, you need to have this much money, you need to be doing this, and then only are you deemed successful. But change your metric of success. What does it mean to you? It doesn't have to mean the same to everybody else. In the end, we are all greedy persons who cannot understand other feelings. We always break the other person's soul if we saw any advantage of forgetting them. You two darling, which country you're from? Well, how is she able to gather so much knowledge? The tattoo means fearless. It ain't knowledge, it's just thinkings. Wisdom. She's a key take country, England. What does it mean? She's only reading paid materialistic comments. Interesting. First of all, I don't get paid for any. I'm not monetized, so I don't actually get paid to read the comments or anything. It's interesting you say that though. Am I British Indian? I am Indian. I live in England, but I'm not British. What is your opinion of Latin America? I love Latin America. Yeah, ADHD is superpower, but sometimes it's irritating. If I'm hyper focused, I can focus for hours. I remember one day I was doing for my finals for like 6 hours straight. Yeah, but that's amazing. Hyper focus. That means you can be super present for long hours at a time. What's to not enjoy about that? What would you say is the downside of ADHD? Passion is desire prohibited. It is quite evident from your monologue that you are pretty intelligent. Thanks. What is the tattoo is Nirbal, which means fearless. I'm gonna start taking breaks when I'm speaking. This is my second live today. You don't get paid, you should get paid. And no free advice. You know, it's interesting you say that because, for example, I was talking to my brother, okay? So my brother, he's 13, he's 14. And he has a gaming YouTube account. And he wants to be a gamer, like a gaming YouTuber. And, you know, he was comparing my channel and his channel. And he was saying, yeah, but Priya had quicker growth than me, etc., etc. And then I said to him, look, when you love to do something, there are no expectations, okay? So here, I'm 28, Akshat. Hi, Balwinder. So yeah, when you love something, if you love it, you don't have expectations because love is just giving, right? It's doing something without expecting anything in return. So I said, if you want a game, do it because you enjoy it. Do something with your full heart. Devote yourself to it without expecting anything in return. You do it for the love of it. Like, for example, I said, if you love, if you love your sister, you love her because you want to love her. You don't love her because if you love her, you want something in exchange, right? So with me right now, yeah, of course I could, do certain things, or I could think with the aim of money. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I do. I'm like, okay, lives get me more views, I get more subs, continue doing that. It's not like it's not a thought in my mind. I'm not gonna lie to you. Of course it would be great to get paid to do this so I can do this, and make a living off of this and continue to pursue this full time rather than something else. That's great. Not gonna lie about that. But if I just made that my sole whole purpose of doing this, then it would take away the joy from it. Then it becomes like a goal that I have to try to achieve. But it's not that. It's about I want to enjoy the journey of it rather than just be so concerned about the destination. Because look, the destination, once it's reached, it's like, oh, okay, now I want another destination. But when you enjoy the journey, you enjoy life. Every day is special because every day you have lived fully. I don't want to half live. If only you could have as much conviction. Well, Mohit, the fact that you recognize my conviction means that it exists in you, because we don't recognize anything that doesn't already exist in us. So you have the conviction. You just need to remove the belief that you don't have the conviction. Or remove the things that stand in between you and your conviction. Like I said earlier, you already have everything you are looking for. You already have the peace, the joy, the happiness, the conviction, the confidence, all of it. It's already within you. You just have to remove the obstacles that stand in the way of that. It's not about gaining new things. You don't need new knowledge or wisdom, or this new course or this talk or this podcast. You don't need any of that. All you need to do is just let go of things that stand in the way. And sometimes what stands in the way becomes the way. It's the Stoicism quote that I really like. You really think God exists? Of course. Look, God Let me ask you, what do you think God is? For me, let me define God. God is the divine, what's that word beginning with P? I can't recall. But God is the divine awareness, consciousness, energy, love that exists. Is the only thing that exists. God is the only thing that exists. I am Indian. I live in England, and I don't know what's going on with my accent. Thank you, Mohit. So yeah, of course. I find you. Oh my god. God. Um. Oh my god. Oh my god. What?
Why am I seeing your face on every single screen?
I don't know. Isn't it great?
We're going at 2, 5.
It's not 5 yet. It's not even 4.
Have you checked the time?
It's 3. It's 3:50.
She's got like 2 watches and she wears one.
Hello. Did Hindi come to you? Hindi come to you? Scorpio, how are you? I'm well, thank you. दीदी हिंदी come to you. हिंदी मैं बोलती हूँ, हिंदी मैं बोल लेती हूँ जी. मैं पता है कि अब मैं है ना इतने पीछे किधर रह देना. I'm gonna write all the answers to all the questions that people tend to ask occasionally. Where are you from? Okay, I'm right. I am from England. I am Indian. I live in wait. I am Indian. I live in England. My age, and then just have it on the wall. So, and my name. Okay, and my name as well. Priya. Nice to be acquainted with you. So, according to your definition of God, I believe you're not religious. I'm not religious. I'm from England. I'm also Mitro. Nice. Where are you from? Yeah, so that's the thing. I feel religion at times, it depends. Because my views of religion have kind of changed, I used to be very anti-religion, but I don't know. We mustn't be too polarized, okay? Because if I'm very anti-religion, I'm the same as someone who is religious. It's a pendulum. So there are energy systems that exist, right? And if you're anti-war or you're against for war, it's the same thing. There's an energy system that is taking your energy, and the best thing to do is to balance. So to not be for something or against something, just to be neutral, because first of all, that is the state in which God is in. God doesn't have opinions and beliefs and all of that, okay? Second of all, when you are for or against something, there is an imbalance in your energy, and life seeks to find balance. So if I'm really against something, then it will tip the other way. Something will happen. You know that saying that it's a saying in physics. Every action has the equal. Oh my god! Sorry, let me just crack my back. Has the opposite and equal reaction. That happens. So neutrality is where you want to be at. Do you speak Hindi? हम हिंदी बोल लेते हैं जी. दीदी राम राम, वहाँ क्या कर रहे हो? सुनो, अंग्रेजों को बदला लेना और कोहिनूर भी ले आना. अमन जी देखो, मैं भी इदा सोचदी ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਵੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ, ਪਰ ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਦੇਖੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਛੋਟੀ ਸੋਚ ਨਾ ਰੱਖੋ, ਆਪਣੀ ਮਨ ਦੀ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਉੱਚੀ ਕਰੋ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ? ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਆ, ਉਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਆ, ਕੀ ਪਤਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਜਨਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ ਸੀ, ਹੈਨਾ? ਕੀ ਪਤਾ? ਏਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਚੀਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ. ਏਦਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਪੈ ਜਾਈਏ. ਕਿੰਨੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਤੇ ਜ਼ੁਲਮ ਕੀਤਾ, ਹਾਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਵਧੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, ਬਹੁਤ ਦੁੱਖ ਲੱਗਿਆ, ਹੈਨਾ? ਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਜੇ ਉਹੀ ਜ਼ੁਲਮ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਈਏ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਹੈਨਾ? So Aman was saying, about how the Brits, they stole from India, and we should return return the Kohinoor and stuff like that. Look, when I found out about Indian history, because my sister used to study history, and she would tell me all the things that happened, of course it's upsetting to hear that happened to your ancestors. But like I said to Aman, Everybody is you. Let's increase our perspective on life, okay? Let's not look at it from, I'm Priya, I'm Indian, this happened to my ancestors. Let's go a little bit higher. Where's Priya from? Is Priya the truth? Is Priya the totality? Is Priya absolute? No, Priya is absolutely not absolute. Priya will die. This is just a temporary story. Priya is a wave in the ocean of consciousness. So I want to remember that I am the ocean. I'm not the wave, okay? So when you can remember that, then you go through life differently. Because if I now sat here and I had lots of anger towards British people, and then I start going out and attacking British people, you did this, your ancestors did this, not even you, okay? But I'm going to be mad at you because you did this. Then what's going to happen? Then I'm stuck in a loop where I'm giving my energy and power away, fighting for something, but I'm not changing. There's no transformation. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of Gandhi, but Gandhi, what did he say? An eye for an eye will make the whole world blind. So why don't we grow and change and be the change that we want to see? What do you believe in then? What God are you talking about? See, everybody always says this, you know, God is all there is. There is no specific God. God is all there is. Different are the ways to his abode, okay? Some people find God through religion. Some people find God through dance, through music. Some people find God through meditation. Some people find God through, I don't know, writing. But God is an energy. God is everywhere. There is no, you can't own God. God is not a piece of property. God is not a business, you know? God is not like, oh, okay, which one are we gonna go to? We're gonna go to this one, we're gonna go to this one. Oh, maybe we'll change it up sometimes, you know? No. I feel like I just mumbled then. There is only God. God is all there is. I don't want to say there is only one God because that implies there may be others. God is all there is. She can speak the language she wants. Why everyone commenting speaking Hindi is not the only language. Show your tattoo. That's not saying it's Newton's third law. Oh yeah, I mean it's not a saying. It's a law. Whatever. Same thing. I'm from Pakistan. You're a fan. Thank you, Scorpio. What is your profession? This is my profession. I must go. See you soon. Bye. Watching anime and forget everything. No, Didi Krishna Bhagwan ne 5 गांवों के लिए गुरुओं से महाभारत की थी अंग्रेज तो लाखों करोड़ रुपए ले गए आप बोल कैसे सकते हो अमन जी आप ये बोल नहीं सकते what effect Aman ji is this having on your life? You holding on to this anger against the Brits that came and did that. I get it. It was awful. I'm not invalidating that at all. ठीक है ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਉਹ ਆਏ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਖਰਾਬੀਆਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਪਰ ਇਹ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਿਨ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਅਫਰੀਕਾ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖੋ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਲੇਵ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਹਨਾ ਕਿ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਜ਼ੁਲਮ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਕੀਤੇ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਖੋਲੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਲੈਂਡ ਤੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਖੋਲਿਆ ਇਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਕਿਉਂ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੇ ਇਹ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਾਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਥੁੱਕੋ ਗੁੱਸਾ anger is a poison that you drink, okay? Anger aimed at anybody else doesn't do anything. It comes straight back to you. It's like a frisbee. It's always going to come back to you. So let it go. Toko. Focus on the great things in life. You know, there's so much greatness in life. Why are we just going to sit here crying about the past? It's futile. You have to forget. You have to forgive. Forgiveness is a gift that you give to yourself. It's purely selfish. So you must do it. Are you consciousness? Are you energy? Yes. Are you God? Yes. Is it too late to ask how your day was? No, of course it isn't. Thank you so much for asking. My day has been wonderful. Oh, it's been amazing actually. How's your day been? How beautiful you are. Thank you. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? Death not, but that's the truth. There is only one God. Yeah, it is. But the way that I word it is God is all there is. Because I don't even want there to be like any space for, oh, maybe there could be multiple gods. Like, it's just God. Everything is just God. It's just an ocean and we are just the waves. For example, if I had a piece of string, right? I don't have a piece of string. Okay. I have a piece of string. Okay, look, this is consciousness, okay? This is all there is. This is God. Okay, if I tie a knot here, pretend I tied a knot here. Okay, I'm not actually going to tie a knot here. This is me. This here is you. This is someone else. This is a car. This is a cow. These are the Brits. Pretend there's knots everywhere. When we just, it all goes back to God. That is the reality of life. Look, that's the secret, okay? We are just little knots thinking that we're separate. That, oh, look, my name is Priya. Oh my God, I'm Priya. You know, I'm a car. I'm a Brit. And we're fighting against each other. But why? We're just one thing. Hey, oh, geez, hate is natural and not an imbalance. Hate is necessary for us to survive, in fact. Interesting, Brennan. Interesting. You also know anger is just do your best. Do you have limiting beliefs that you were able to unlimit? Oh my God, do I have Chidanandji, I love you. I hope that has soothed you. Do you have limiting beliefs that you were able to unlimit? Oh my God, Mohit, do I? So many. I feel it's a process that just continues through life, you know, because you become more and more aware of different beliefs that you may have that are limiting. But yeah, of course, so many limiting beliefs about myself, about life, about possibilities, about money, about relationships, about my worth, about my value, myself, my confidence, just about everything. Do you? दीदी आप कौन से धर्म विच विश्वास करते हो? It means which culture you follow to reach God. I love Sikhi, so I would say that, but it's not that I identify as a Sikh, because God has no identification, okay? Look, in life, I always aim to have, there's a standard, right? There's a standard that we all have, that we all want to, like, I don't know about everybody else, but I do. I have, okay. I do not need comments like that. Okay, so yeah, everybody has some sort of standard, I believe, but I do. So, my standard of being, the way that I want to be, the standard I hold for myself is that of an enlightened being. So not just normal people, but an enlightened being, and the way that they would think and that they would live their life. Yeah, if I explain to other people that this is how I want to be, they'll be like, oh, that's crazy, you can't do that in this life, blah, blah, blah. But look, I'm not trying to be normal. I'm not trying to be like everybody else. I don't want to be like everybody, because I don't really necessarily think the norm is healthy. So why would I want to adhere to that? Does that make sense? If humans are a god, then why can't we create matter, energy out of thin air? You actually can, Augustia. You can, people can, but it's about look, everybody is God, but there is something that stands between you and God, right? And that is your ego. When you can get rid of your ego, when you can get to high levels of bhakti, right, of meditation, of devotion, and dedication to becoming one with God, then there is no Agastya left. There would only be God left, and God can do anything. You should research about different fakirs, sant, like for example, Hansali Wale Babaji. He was such a high Mahapurush, right, that he could do that. He could create matter out of thin air. It's Siddhis, right? You get Siddhis when you meditate a lot. They mention this in Sikhi. So if you want to like research this, I mean, even just go to ChatGPT, just write, oh, what are Siddhis? How can one get Siddhis? What the different types of Siddhis are? You know what? Let's get it up, actually. Let's get it up, because, you know, when I used to be very into Western spirituality, then I never knew that you could do this. I never even knew that there were cities available and that people could have supernatural powers like this. About loads of different ones. And the thing is, in the West, maybe, I mean, not even just in the West, you may not believe them, okay? You may not believe them, but they're there. You have some... दीदी इंग्लैंड में साधक कैसे है potholes है क्या क्या potholes yeah potholes है India जैसे है Mumbai to see kidro if humans are also god then okay yeah Sat Sri Akal Sage, love to see someone I can relate to. Oh, Sat Sri Akal ji. What's that on my neck? Oh, this? Oh, it's just you missed your morning golf appointment because you got hooked onto what I'm saying. Thank you. It says Nirpa, which means fearless. दीदी सिखी और हिंदू तो मैं सेम ही है ना मेरे दोस्त सिखी है मुझे बहुत बोलता है कि भाई तेरे लिए हमारे गुरु ने जान दी तुम मेरे जान हो वो मेरा बहुत अच्छा दोस्त है अच्छी बात है what is it comment missed oh okay fitness Sat Sri Akal no I said Sat Sri Akal Thank you, guys, because I work very hard to overcome mine, and I'm much older than you, yet see so much wisdom coming through. Introducing, or is it my boy? I don't. I'm happy that people like you think differently exist. Best of luck for the never-ending questions and inquiry to what life is by the end. You won't find the meaning of any, but that's our life, and that's okay, you know. I'd rather sit here and kind of ponder what. Am I in? Am I in England? Yes, I am. England. I'm actually gonna write. I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna put it somewhere. Okay, I want to talk about Siddhis, okay? So, Siddhis, okay? Okay. Siddhis are fascinating because they are essentially supernatural or extraordinary abilities that arise when someone develops the mind, body, and spirit deeply, usually through meditation, yoga, or spiritual practices. In Hermeticism, Indian philosophy, Tantra, Siddhis, and Tantra, Siddhis are seen as a byproduct of inner mastery. They're not goals themselves, but they are. मैंने देखा है मुझे लगता है. Am I Anglo-Indian? I don't know what Anglo-Indian is. Okay, so the different types of siddhis, okay? So there's anima, which is the ability to become infinitely small. So I actually heard this from I meditated for years above my third eye, but all I got out of this feeling is a ton of bricks between my eyebrows. Interesting. You know, sometimes I think it's nice to have a teacher of some type or a guru, someone who already knows, so they can teach you because they can see exactly what you need. But yeah, so anima is the ability to become infinitely small. So you can become the size, well, your consciousness, I don't even know how to describe it using language, but there's Guru Pashupati, right? He was saying how his guru, Mahavdar Babaji, became so small, it took him, and then they became so small that they were the size of atoms, looking at atoms, and he said that atoms, there's an infinite world that gets smaller and smaller that is infinite in atoms, just as if this, you know, as a space is ever expanding. Does that make sense? So the atomic world is infinite, just as the macro level world is infinite. Mahima, the ability to become infinitely large, to expand yourself. Lagima, the ability to become light as a feather. Garima, to become infinitely heavy. Prakamya, fulfilling desires at will. So this is the power of manifestation. So this is why people who do a lot of bhakti, they can manifest like that. Literally, you thought it's there. That's why they have to be super careful about what they think about. Ishtiva, mastery over natural elements and others. Vashtiva, control of others' minds and energies. You know, and there is one where you can create matter. But it's not something that should be a goal. Here. Do you love Indian culture? I do love India and I do love Indian culture. Hello and good morning. It's finally Saturday. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for all you do. That is so sweet. Thank you. गुरु पशुपति है एक गुरु, वो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है. मैंने बहुत सीखा उनको, उन्होंने तो मैं बहुत सीखा. मैं पंजाबी बोल सकती हूँ, मैं पंजाबी, हिंदी थोड़ी ना. What is motive of life for you? I think teaching. I like teaching. Have I heard of Jose Silva? Have I? Yes. I have. I've heard of Jose Silva. He has the Jose Silva mind meditation, right? I did start. I just never saw it through. But there's so much in terms of meditation. There is just so many things to do other than just sit there, you know, quietly. Of course, that's amazing, but things you can really heal through that meditative world, well, the energetic world, right? Love from Punjab. Thank you. Oh, okay, let me just take like a minute break. मेरी आंखें बहुत बड़ी बड़ी हैं. अच्छा, मेरी आंखें बहुत टायर्ड हैं. मुझे पता नहीं क्यों नहीं. I don't think so. Oh my god, getting watery. I don't know why. I did put oil on my hair, so maybe the oil has transferred to my eyes. But teaching make you life. I mean, no, yeah. I mean, I really do love. I don't know how to answer that question. I live because God has blessed me with a life, and I choose to be grateful for it. Maybe. What about you, Wrinkle? Oh. I think I'm gonna call it a day, guys. I think my body needs you won't be. Guru Pashupati lives just 100 kilometers away from me, but somehow I didn't become qualified to meet him yet. Oh my god, that's so cool. Oh my god, that's so cool. I went to India and I really wanted to meet him, but I don't know, I guess life just didn't make like an opportunity, but I'm sure I will. He's really helped me transform my life, you know, in several ways. A lot of knowledge. But namaste, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. I'm gonna call it a day. Take care of yourselves, okay? Bye.